You know, it's not quite election season yet, but we are moving in that direction. And 1 year from tonight, the city of Portland will be deep into its historic change with new city councilors and a new form of government. The change is really a big one. So we're going to be talking about that a lot. It involves the power structure of Oregon's biggest city. And that is our big story tonight. Now, if you don't live here in the city of Portland, and I know there's a lot of you, don't worry about it. It's okay. I think this is going to be fascinating for you anyway. One reason why is this new voting system. It involves ranked choice voting. It's a form of voting that's gaining popularity around the country, so it may be coming to your town or city soon. All right, now back to Portland. The first change is timing. Instead of having a spring primary election to weed out the field, the city will have one election in November for all the new council members and the mayor and the auditor. And instead of 4 people, the city will elect 12 commissioners. The city will also elect a mayor and city auditor, as I mentioned. But long before that happens, like, now, lots of folks are already thinking about running for office. Some are even putting together their campaigns. So this story is about the basic steps that it takes to run for city council in Portland. It's more wide open than ever this year. Our guide for this journey is Deborah Scroggin. She's the elections director for the city of Portland, and she has a firm grasp on what's happening. She agrees this will be historic and complicated.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. You'd probably say it in more eloquent terms. But
I think this is the biggest change we've seen in recent memory.
Yeah, okay. So we're probably going to have 10 or 20,000 people trying to run for all these council positions.
Yes.
Because here we are in January, and I think there's already 30 or 40 people declared for all the different spots. What do people need to know? How do you go about doing this?
Well, first of all, no one is declared yet because you can't file for office in the city of Portland until June 5th. But a lot of folks have said, hey, I'm going to raise money. I'm going to file for public matching funds. I'm going to put my name in the media, that sort of thing, which is perfectly fine. You can't actually file for office with the city elections office until June 5th.
Okay.
So just want to let folks know that. You may see names floating around, but those are not official yet.
Okay.
So filing window starts June 5th. We'll have all the information for candidates available currently in our candidate guide, and folks can take a look at that and digest it, but they can come to our office or file online starting in June 5th.
All right, did you get that? June 5th. One of the first official things to do is declare you are in the race, but you cannot do that officially until June 5th. When you can do that, you can either fill out a form online or go to the elections office in person. It's in Portland City Hall. You also have to pay a fee of $75 if you're running for a council seat, $100 if you want to be mayor or auditor. And if that's too much for you, you can go around your district and get 500 signatures from registered voters saying they do want you to run. Check the elections office for the exact wording on that.
So that's a change too, right? That filing process is different. We upped the fees a little bit. They hadn't been upped since the 90s. And we changed it to 500 signatures to align better with state law. But either way, it's to show us that you really want to be on the ballot and you take this seriously.
Okay, so we know about filing for the office, but long before that, like even right now, you'll probably want to start gathering contributions so that you can buy things like yard signs and stickers and to mail those colorful postcards that we all love. And there is a decent amount to learn about that process. The city of Portland has rules about contributions. First, you should call the city's small donor program and ask for a free and confidential class on how campaign finance works in the city of Portland. The number to call: 503-823-4345. Now, here are some of the highlights. You can only accept a maximum of $579 from any one person, and they have to be a U.S. resident and 18 years or older. You can also take part in the small donor program. You can use that to get free money from the city if you qualify, but you also have to agree not to take more than $350 from any one person. And they have to live in the city of Portland. This whole program is set up to encourage candidates to raise money from people who live in the city.
Small Donor Elections is in another agency in the city. They offer public funds to run a campaign, and there's a lot of requirements to get those funds and to qualify for them. We have the basic information for that in here, but I would also encourage them to get a hold of Small Donor Elections in the city of Portland.
All right, thanks for pushing us that way. The city, by the way, will match the first $20 of each donation at a rate of 9 to 1. So for example, once you qualify, if someone gives you $20, the city will give you 9 times that, which is $180. Now to qualify, you need to take that small donor training, and then if you're running for mayor, you have to collect at least 750 separate donations of anywhere between $5 and $350. If you're running for auditor or city council, you have to collect 250 different contributions of anywhere between $5 and $350. They each have to come from people living in the city of Portland. Once you meet that threshold, the city will start doling out that matching money. Right now, candidates for mayor can get up to a total of $100,000 in matching funds. Candidates for auditor can get up to $40,000, and candidates for city council can get up to $120,000 total. Those amounts may change, but that's where it is right now. And remember, you don't have to use that program. In fact, you have to apply to be part of it. But if you don't want to use it, you can just go on and start getting contributions. And if you're not in the program, you can accept that higher amount, up to $579. It's an odd number, I know, but it's been growing with the rate of inflation, and so that's why it's kind of a weird number there. The deadline to apply for that program is August 1st. So, June 5th, we officially register to be part of the election, and we've paid our fee or gathered the signatures. What's next? Next, the city's going to make sure that you can be in the race.
What's next is we determine if they meet all the requirements. You know, are you a citizen of the United States? Are you a resident of the city of Portland? Are you in the right district? Are you registered to vote? The requirements are laid out in our candidate guide again. One thing I'd like to highlight is that you really do have to be a resident of that district a year prior to the election. So, yes, and that's...
As of this last November, then.
Correct, yes.
If you weren't living in District 1,
yes.
You can't run in District 1.
We will need to verify that information from folks. So it's one thing to keep in mind if you're moving around right now or considering a move.
It's too late.
I would just contact us, look up your district, go to portlandmaps.com, see where you actually are, make sure where you're moving.
You can move within your district.
Ask around, look at the map, and make sure you're in the right place.
Okay. If, for example, you lived in District 1 this past November, now you want to move to District 3 and run there, nope, can't do it, disqualified. You can only run in the district where you lived this past November. The actual rule is you have to have been living in that district for the 12 months before the election. So, no, you cannot move out and then move back in. Not in District 1 for 12 straight months going back from November of 24. Sorry, you cannot run there. Next, it's time to get your campaign going. You should also know there are requirements about disclaimers on any of your political advertising, sort of like the typical stuff we see on TV ads, except this is on steroids.
Well, voters passed a law in 2018 requiring certain disclaimers on political communications. Now there's the top line, which is the paid for by. You know, we're all kind of used to seeing that, but then ours require even deeper dominant funders that may be funding the campaign overall. If they're over a certain limit, they need to be disclosed there as funders. And it goes a little bit more in depth into that, how that process works. But what we really want candidates to know is that these are involved requirements to discuss how your campaign is being funded and to disclose that to the public. Voters passed that in 2018, and we're here to make sure that it is understood in advance. People can come to us with questions. We can't provide legal advice, of course, but we also have put out a campaign finance manual that has examples. What does this look like? What's exempted? You don't need to do this for bumper stickers, for example.
Okay.
But
if
it
you're
is
sending out mailings and all that, then
correct.
You got to be on top
correct.
of that.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
This is starting to sound more complicated than I thought.
Well, there's a lot involved in running for office in the city of Portland in 2024.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What next? We've declared, we've paid, you know we're a candidate, we're starting to send out information, we're talking to those other people about getting matching money.
Well, ballots go out October 16th.
So it's a mail-in like they all are now?
Yes, mail-in, yes. All of our elections here are vote by mail. And election day is November 5th. So during that time period, we expect a lot of activity, a lot of campaigning, a lot of campaign finance concerns and questions, and a lot of get out the vote and public education campaigns that we're embarking on to teach people about what ranked choice voting means, what to expect on their ballot. We do think it will be one of the busiest elections in history, if not the busiest election in history in terms of candidates on the ballot. So really want to demystify the process for everyone. It shouldn't be a surprise when you open up your ballot. what is this? You know, how do I do this?
And when you say busiest, you mean gross number of people running?
Yeah. Inquiries to our office, concerns, questions. When there's this much change so quickly, it can get confusing. You know, and we're here as an office for official information, so people can come to us.
I know this is super granular. I hope you're still with us now. Finally, speaking of the change, the ballot that you will get in the mail for that Portland election will look different than anything you've ever seen from the city. It'll probably look something like this, with several candidates that you can vote for when it comes to the city council races. You can only vote for candidates for city council who are in the district in which you live, and you can vote for 6 different people, ranking them from 1st to 6th. Then ranked choice voting will kick in. And that ranked choice voting system is so complicated that we're going to devote an entire different story on a different show to that. But there's our outline for how you can run for election in the city of Portland.